Hey guys, today we're gonna go over mixing a hip-hop snare. Now, very important, the hip-hop snares, where they come from. You got the 808s, you got the 909s, I should say, my apologies. So let's think about that. We're gonna get hip-hop snares don't bring in overtones, right? We're not gonna have to worry about that as opposed to an acoustic snare. So let's get right to it. Let's listen to it. This one is more of a clap. The reason I use it because I feel like claps are used a lot more than just the regular snare, regular snare, regular like computer snare, I would call it, quote unquote. So let's listen to it. Awesome. So I hear a lot of high end there that we're gonna have to be taking out. You know, right away we want this to not be too light. We want to add some thickness, right? So let's bring up an EQ, guys. Bring up straight in EQ3, 7-band EQ. Let's take out the bypass. All right, so let's see what we got. So first, as opposite from the kick drum, we're gonna look at this side, right? Let's start cleaning things out. So let's put a low pass filter here. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is good practice for you. I want you guys to hear the different frequency spectrums, what's being taken out, what's being added in, because it's all gonna add into the broader picture. All right, so we won't need this. We won't need this. All right, and the reason I say we won't need this is because we're taking too much of its characteristics. So here around the 10K, let's start bringing this down. Okay. I'm thinking of vocals. I don't want it to get in the way, right? I don't want it to be too glossy. I want to bring this down. Maybe start, messing with the Q a little bit. Perfect. Now, as opposed to the kick, for a hip-hop snare, I would say add in a little mid-range. Why not? Add in a little love here. And if you're not sure, if you're like, hey, Edwin, I don't know if I know what I'm doing here. What am I listening to? Well, in that case, just bring it all the way up. Right? So those are your mids, right? Let's not keep it that way. Right, a little tiny bit. Let's add in some little extra body here. See what happens. As you can see, there wasn't much of a difference. It's actually adding an artifact that we don't want. So perfect, right? We got this. Let's before and after. As you can tell, it's a little bit, it's much duller. And the reason I dulled it up a little bit, because I know when I start adding different things like synths, especially stringed synths, those are gonna sit on top of this, right? And then we could reverse engineer it based on the instruments that I'm adding. Nonetheless, we do need I need some compression. We need to hear it hit. How do we hear this? The way we hear it is, we want it to struck a transient. The transient, we want to hear the transient, if that makes sense. So what I mean, let me bring out the D3. Right, and let's make the attack a little bit, let's bring it up, right? We want to bring it like a 2.5. We don't want to bring too much up on the knee, right? Ratio, I'd leave it at 2.7. I would have quite a fast release. You want a fast release on this? So that is, once again, going back to the EQing, right? Going back to the EQ part of it. And it's like, well, if you're not sure what you're looking for, if you're not sure, okay, what am I listening to when I'm creating these sounds, is, well, then take it to the extreme until you find that right balance, right? Bring it up. Perfect. And always try to bypass. Try to see it before and after. I like there's an extra little artifact at the end, a little trashy artifact that I really like. That's gonna go well with the overall, with the kick especially. Perfect. Now let me play everything before. Right? Which there's nothing wrong with it sounding bad, but remember, with sounding good, my apologies, but remember, sounds are made to sound great by themselves, and then when you put them together, they don't. That's the art of mixing. So think about it in the future tense. You want to make it grimier, grittier, that way it could really cut through. Hear the difference, guys? No character, some character to it. So guys, I hope you guys got something from this. So this is mixing hip hop snares.